from me.
Final countdown. This is where it gets fun. This is where I come alive.
What is ready to show up, and Jake's in good shape. His mind is very locked in and focused for this. So, we're all looking forward to this.
Jake Paul is deep into an intense heavyweight training camp in Miami as he gears up for his December 19 clash with Anthony Joshua. He's working with top-tier sparring partners to mimic Joshua's size and power while collaborating closely with elite coaches. His routine also includes specialized therapists and cutting-edge training equipment designed to enhance strength, speed, and tactical precision. Every session focuses on sharpening technique, building endurance, and mental preparation, making sure Paul approaches a fight fully focused and ready for the toughest challenge of his career.
Time to shock the world, baby. Time to shock the world again. Motherfucking sauce.
Jake Paul's training camp for his fight against Anthony Joshua showcases a level of dedication few fully grasp. His coach explains that much of the intense work, long hours in the gym, grueling conditioning, and precise attention to technique, goes largely unseen. Preparing for an opponent of Joshua's caliber demands total commitment. And despite constant physical exhaustion and mental strain, Paul pushes through each session with relentless focus, demonstrating a seriousness that goes far beyond mere spectacle.
Realize how much is sacrificed in the camp, and Jake sacrificed a lot to get ready for the last fight on top of releasing the new brand W, and so he needed a break. And so we took a month off, got right back in there, and now we're getting ready for Mike, and we're not as heavy as we were before, which is a plus for us. I didn't want us to go back up, but you can guarantee he's gonna be ready to fight. I think in the last 6 weeks, you've seen Jake slowly tighten himself up and get himself prepared, and he's really locked in now. So what we've been able to see is Jake evolve into the gladiator. He's slowly evolving into the gladiator that he has to become for fight night. About time he finishes the camp and goes through everything he needs to go through, by that night, he'll be fully prepared. His outer shell that he needs to be able to go in there and be the gladiator for the night, they'll have that ready, and that's what you see happening now. That's the process in which we're in now.
Every part of Jake Paul's training is focused on one clear objective: defeating a proven former champion. Experts highlight that his mental preparation is just as crucial as his physical regimen. He carefully visualizes different scenarios, anticipates challenges, and structures his workouts to build confidence while addressing weaknesses. This mental conditioning allows him to stay calm under pressure and execute his strategies without hesitation when the stakes are highest. Paul's psychological readiness reflects a level of maturity developed over multiple fights, proving he is more than just a social media star stepping into the ring.
Built for this. Enjoy the process, enjoy the moment. When it's over, I'm gonna be missing these moments.
145.
Sparring partners are a key part of Jake Paul's preparation. Sources from his camp reveal that he regularly tests himself against experienced boxers, sometimes outperforming them to underline his skill and determination. Facing Anthony Joshua in training marks the first time Paul encounters sparring opponents who match the size and power he will see in the ring. These sessions are designed to push him to his limits, forcing him to adapt, refine strategies, and practice reactions under pressure. They also provide a chance to hone defensive techniques and experiment with offensive combinations that could prove decisive against a heavyweight of Joshua's caliber.
You're training with Jake Paul, when that was, how much sparring you did with him.
So training with Jake Paul, I got to understand how he was as a fighter. He was new into the boxes. He was developing at a very quick rate. This guy trained his ass off. Like, we was far twice a week in the hot ass gym in Puerto Rico. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Dude, when I tell you Jake was beating up all these professional boxers who was sparring them, it was just one of those, like, bro, he was whooping their ass and sending them home. That same night, he told everybody bluntly, I'm sending you, and home. Only person think he's this guy Anthony. And he was like, the reason why, because this motherfucker's coming here and giving me work that I need. None of y'all feeding me the work y'all need.
Boxing trainer Tony Jeff emphasizes the extraordinary intensity of Jake Paul's current training camp, noting that it goes far beyond a typical regimen. Designed more like the preparation of Olympic-level athletes, the camp incorporates cutting-edge equipment, specialized conditioning, and personalized coaching that addresses every facet of performance. The program focuses not only on building strength, but also on speed, endurance, and technical skill, giving Paul a well-rounded approach to elite-level boxing. Jeff points out that this comprehensive preparation allows Paul to adapt quickly to new challenges and maintain an advantage early in the fight. Unlike traditional camps that might focus on a single aspect, Paul's environment ensures he is fully equipped for the complex demands he will face against Anthony Joshua, highlighting his dedication to succeeding at the highest level.
Great strength training for explosive power, slamming that ball against the wall and rotating, just like you'd be throwing a hook. You see there, he's caught it, he's pulled it back, turning into it, boom. We also see he's getting in the ice bath here. Now, ice baths is not just good for recovery, helping with the inflammation in your body after what you've been putting it through, but it's also good for the mental side of things. Because when you go in an ice bath, everything in your mind is saying, get out of here, what are you doing? So you've got to get past that part of your mind that's telling you that and push through it. So it's great for your mindset as well. Now, one more thing I just want to add with Jake Paul's training before I give you a recap on it. We always see him training. Look, he's got like a group of people around him. There's cameramen there, there's coaches there, all spurring him on. Now, boxing is normally a very lonely sport. When you're in the gym, it's normally you and your coach. Unless you're dealing with a group of people, it's harder for you to get the one-on-one attention that you need. So when you're fighting as a pro, when I was fighting as a pro, it was often just me and my coach. Sometimes there will be another guy in there as well. Sometimes my dad would come, which really helped push me through the session. But when my friends did ever come, maybe one session here and there, that spurred me on even more to get the most out of us. As we see here, he's got people around him all the time, cameramen, coaches, friends, strength and conditioning coaches, his boxing coach, and he's just his full team around him who's getting paid. What that does is help the fighter, in this case Jake, get more out of the sessions rather than being there by himself, which I think is great. When I was training for the Olympics, we had that sort of support around us and it was amazing. But when I turned pro, that went out the window because you've got to pay for that support. So now my final thoughts on Jake Paul's boxing training. There isn't anything I can pull apart here. Everything he's...
Veteran boxing analyst Dan Rafael has observed notable growth in Jake Paul's skills since his bout with Tommy Fury, pointing to improvements in technique, stamina, and tactical awareness. Paul has developed a more nuanced understanding of in-ring dynamics, showing he can learn and evolve. However, Rafael emphasizes that facing Anthony Joshua presents an entirely different level of challenge. The upcoming fight will test Paul's ability to apply these lessons under intense pressure, requiring flawless execution and strategic thinking. Rafael also highlights the importance of balancing confidence with realism. While self-belief is essential in combat sports, overconfidence can become dangerous, and analysts caution that Paul may be approaching that threshold, relying too much on faith in his own abilities rather than fully respecting Joshua's experience and power. This perspective underscores the need for both psychological resilience and realistic preparation when stepping into the ring for a historically significant fight.
Well, but he's actively like, yes, I am going to knock out AJ. And in any other timeline, we'd all point and laugh. And some people still are pointing and laughing, but I'm just sitting here going, what has he seen that makes him believe that? Not only of what's happened to AJ, sure, he's been knocked out by Dubois, another 240-pound champion of the world, but what has he seen in himself think he's going to knock out AJ when he hasn't knocked out anyone since Fury? And Mike Perry, as we know, is not a high-level boxer. He hasn't knocked out a high-level boxer. He goes Cesar Chavez, but Chavez knew to cover up and not engage. Maybe he thinks AJ will engage with him, and AJ does do some bad things in the pocket. Again, we'll save it for another video, but the only thing I can think of, and I said it at the beginning of this video, is Jake is absolutely delusional, and he's convinced himself of what's going to happen based on very outlying data, right? The Daniel Dubois knockout, how he struggled with Usyk.
Fighting when and why?
I'm fighting Anthony Joshua because I'm fucking him.
What?
I'm fighting Anthony Joshua because I'm him.
Holy shit, just let me take a second.
Is this motherfucker out? Dude, it's light work. Light work. Well, at least my good old friend Tyson Fury believes that I can win.
If Jake Paul fights Anthony Joshua, I'm putting £1 million on Jake Paul. I want some free money.
Smart man, Tyson.
I need to see a bet slip, Tyson. I know you got it like that these days. A million's like a, you know, like a slight 10,000 to the rest of us, but or maybe 1,000 after those couple of title fights with Alexander Usyk. But I need to see the bet slip. I saw the line when, and this is kind of crazy. I saw the line when the fight first got made, and we put it in the video. Jake was plus 800 to win. Jake has now moved to plus 650 to win. That's outright. I don't know by knockout. I'm not sure, but plus 800 was already like, okay, that's, you know, that's a big underdog. And Joshua was like minus 1,500, but now Joshua's at minus 1,250 and Jake's at plus 650. This line is closing, and I'm wondering why. What are people seeing?
Make no mistake, this is the biggest fight of my career. I'm walking into the lion's den. I'm doing something that no one else has ever done before. I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua Friday, December 19th, live on Netflix. My voice cracked, I'm still going through puberty. The biggest fight of 2025, USA versus UK. He's got the belts, the size, the history, but I have the balls. Be careful what you wish for. Jake versus Joshua, Judgment Day. He has a 90% knockout ratio, but I have a 100% chance of drinking this Celsius.
Okay, there we go. Ads only. Yeah, I mean, having balls is good when it comes to making a fight like this, when it comes to, you know, putting yourself out there and again, just operating on self-belief, but it isn't going to win Jake this fight. Him being ballsy is not going to win him this fight. Like, him making the decision to take this fight is ballsy. And we can all say it, and we have said it, and I feel like it's starting to become a thing where it's like, that's the only thing we're saying. I feel like everybody is just pointing out that Jake has big balls for doing this, and that's a ballsy move. And that's correct, but we established that already. So now let's talk about the fight itself. What about Jake's ballsiness is going to win him this fight? The fact that he wants to throw, the fact that he'll mix it up, that may be the worst thing that Jake could do is mix it up with Anthony Joshua, because again, you get into 50-50s with a guy that can crack like he can, 90% finish rate. He'll put you on the canvas. He's done it to so many other heavyweights. And yes, AJ sometimes is the one that gets clipped in exchanges like that, with the left hook especially, but we'll do a more...
Former champion Carl Froch highlights the high stakes for both fighters. For Joshua, any misstep could put his legacy under intense scrutiny from fans and the media, while Paul's growing reputation hinges on proving he can face a legitimate professional challenge and earn respect from boxing purists. Froch frames a matchup as a pivotal moment for both men, a crossroads where skill, composure, and career trajectory all intersect. He emphasizes that the fight goes beyond physical confrontation. It tests consistency, mental toughness, and the ability to perform under immense pressure. The outcome will shape long-term perceptions of both athletes and influence their place within the sport.
Jake Paul is not a step in the direction of becoming world champion again. There's many people who could box. He's not going to make that kind of money. So let's just be honest with anybody else. So let's just be straight up honest about it. He's doing it all for the money. It's all about the money. I did say a year ago when he got splattered by Daniel Dubois that he's finished in boxing, he needs to retire. That's just my opinion, that's just my truth. I think he's done in heavyweight boxing at an elite competitive level. So that makes sense. I've been vindicated. He's now fighting fake Paul in what will be a massive mismatch. If this is correct and it's 10-ounce gloves in a professional boxing rules, 8 3-minute rounds, it's not going to go 2 rounds, is it? It shouldn't do. It shouldn't last a round. But we're going to have to wait and see, aren't we? It's hard to get your head around it. It's hard to know what to say about this. AJ's obviously excited about it, about making some serious bunts. And Jake Paul's telling us that he's going to shut all the haters up by jumping in there with AJ. So what is actually going off? We're not going to know, are we, until the fight actually, till the first bell goes. We're not going to know what's actually behind all this. And we can't start throwing accusations of any sort of skullduggery going off, because we've got to take it at face value. It's not an exhibition, so nothing's pre-scripted. This is a professional boxing match that you can make bets on. So it's got to be a real fight. And if AJ goes in there with them little 10-ounce gloves on and throws the Ngannou 1-2 down the middle, I'm talking about the one that rendered Ngannou unconscious and almost snapped his leg. And Ngannou's a decent fighter in the cage. You know, he's a good MMA fighter, and you saw him, he took Tyson Fury, what did it take him, 8, 9, was it 10 rounds? Can't remember how long it was, but he took him the distance and lost a close decision. So he's quite capable, but AJ's a big punching heavyweight. And fake
boxing analyst Joey Knight points out the commercial strategy behind Jake Paul's choice of opponent. Knight explains that Paul understands high-profile fights attract massive global attention and generate significant revenue. Taking on a renowned former champion like Joshua guarantees extensive media coverage, audience engagement, and financial opportunity, rarely available to fighters at Paul's level. This strategic planning works alongside his physical and mental preparation, showing a comprehensive approach that balances both sporting ambition and business savvy. Knight emphasizes that modern boxing is about more than just in-ring performance. Careful decisions regarding opponents, timing, and publicity play a key role in shaping a fighter's career and financial outcome.
A lot of cash, maybe not as much as the Anthony Joshua fight, but a lot of cash, and can still have a serious chance of going on to earn even more paydays. Whereas the damage that it could do to his body could be irreversible for that opportunity to earn money in a boxing career going forward. So is this the retirement bag, or do you actually think you can win? Because I read a study recently, and I believe it said something along the lines of men overemphasize or overcalculate their ability to fight by about 500 times. And I'm saying Jake Paul would probably need to be 500 times better to stand a chance against Anthony Joshua. And I can't get how he doesn't already know this. Surely he has sparred with heavyweights. Surely the recent sparring that he had with the likes of Shakur Stevenson and with the likes of Ray Ford, amongst others, Badu Jack, surely that would have taught you that there are levels to boxing. And if these small guys are able to show you things that you had no idea that you were vulnerable to in a boxing ring, what happens when someone who hits 4, 5, 6 times as hard as that does the exact same thing to you and lands it on your chin? The whole reason of why I know where I am in the influencer boxing scene, in the misfit scene, is because of the level that I have sparred at. I've sparred boys that have gone on to box for world titles. I've sparred with English champions, and I've sparred with
Legendary ring announcer Michael Buffer highlights the cultural impact of the Paul brothers on modern boxing. He notes that Jake and Logan Paul have successfully attracted a younger audience, generating excitement and building a fresh fan base of sport. Buffer commends their skill in crafting engaging narratives, creating anticipation and drawing widespread attention. By combining athletic performance with a strong media presence, the Paul brothers have helped bring renewed visibility to boxing, showing how strategic branding can complement athletic achievement.
Jake and Logan, first of all, are fantastic athletes. You know what Logan does with the WWE and what Jake does with boxing, knocks people out and everything. And they both have massive fan bases. And for me, it's great to see people get young people that follow them that didn't have they don't remember Ali or Joe Frazier or whatever. It's not in their wheelhouse. So it's great to see them developing fight fans and a big fight after.
That wraps up today's video. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time